Well, good day, everybody. I have on my table today an interesting guitar. It's a Samick, and I think one of my first guitars was a Samick electric guitar. It came in a kit. It was a Samick electric guitar and a amplifier combo. So this one has come to me. It's great looking. It's a great looking guitar. I was really surprised when I opened it. This is a Greg Bennett design Samick. These are made in Indonesia, I believe. Yeah, crafted in Indonesia. It always surprises me how solid these guitars, these like mass-produced guitars are. This one is like, man, this is a tank. A few little cracks here, but that's with age, I guess. Don't know the year it is. So the issue was, how can I? So sometimes when you get a buzz in your guitar, and you're getting the buzz up at the first, second, third fret, primarily the first fret, this is a real great indicator that your nut, the slots in your nut, are too deep. And sometimes I've seen it a few times where someone had made a nut, a replacement nut, and in the shop or in their wherever they were replacing it, it was fine, no issue. They slotted it, strung it up, tuned it to pitch, and she worked great, no buzzing. But when the client gets the guitar and they bring it to another environment that's not, you got moisture in the air, it could be too dry, it could be any number of things. All of a sudden you're getting a different, you've got a problem. That's why being too exact, I don't want to say this, sometimes being too exact in the shop, sometimes being too exact and precise in the shop when you're doing a repair won't translate to where it lives, if that makes any sense at all. I'm talking about moisture content in the air. If it's damp or it's dry or whatever. If there's any kind of real wood, solid wood in your guitar, it's going to react differently. Sometimes more extreme than the plywood or layered woods. So I think this is what happened with this guitar. The nuts are a little deep. The nut slots are a little deep. I think generally what you want to see is you want to be able to run your finger over the top of the nut, and you should be able to feel all of the strings over the top of the nut. You don't want to bury your string too much, which looks like it happened here, and that's why he's getting a buzz on, and that's a bit extreme. Neck is perfectly fine. Over neck is fine. So I think it was just the slots were done a little bit, filed down a little bit too much. So what I'm going to do is, at first, I'm going to try a little luthier trick of the trade with some baking soda and some CA glue, and I'm going to try that first. I'm going to fill in the slots a little bit with that, and then I'm going to file it back down, and then I will adjust the bottom of the nut to compensate. So what I'm trying to say is, let me see here. Do I have a little spare nut? I do. I have plenty. So here's your nut. Yeah, so the slots, like as you can see, they're not deep. They're just like, just below the surface, just enough to bury about half of the string. And when they go too far and the string, there's many issues you can get when they're too low. One is you can get a pinching. The strings will get pinched and they'll jam up and your tuning will be all off. The other thing will be like we're getting here now. It's if it's too low, you're going to get a buzzing on the first fret, primarily the first fret, depending on the relief in your neck. But generally speaking, it's the first fret in my experience. So I'm going to go try this little trick I learned and with this current nut, and I will make a video of that and splice it in right about here. Okay, problem solved. The nut is now back up to it's a perfect size nut. The slots were deep, really deep. So I did a little trick of mine and managed to bring them up. So this is where they should be. They should be 1/2 to 3/4 down inside the slot. Your high E and your B, I mean, that they can be sunken, but just below. Ah, shit. Oh, my freaking light hairs. Just below the stay. All right. Just below the top of the nut. So I had it strung up, tuned up, and all of a sudden, notice the high E. So why is that still buzzing? So look down at the saddle, and I don't know if I can catch it good, but where is it on that side? It's practically non-existent. She's just resting on it. It's just barely above the bridge. So what I'm going to do is, and I've done it in the past where I have used paper, little strips of plastic, or cardboard maybe, or any kind of material, just to wedge it up a little bit, just to shim it up. But I've noticed recently that why not just use wood? So I've got a little piece of wood here. I just shaved off, and I'm gonna prop it under there. Start off with this piece. If I need to come up higher, I will do so. But yeah, so not only did he have all of his nuts, slots of his nuts too deep, his saddle was a little bit too low, and that's a common thing. Happens all the time when you're shaving straight across. So if you're bringing the action down and you're shaving on your saddle, if you're going straight across, you're taking off too much on one side than you do on the other, and it happens. So you want to keep a little bit of extra on the treble side, on the high E and B side of the saddle. It's been my experience anyways. So other than that, I'm going to shim that up and play a little ditty for you on this thing, and yeah, there we go. Another happy customer, hopefully. Well, she's all fixed up, bus. She did have a little bit of back bow after I checked her, and so I got that fixed, and she's sounds great. I said I'd play a little tune, so I will. Do you have the time? Listen to me whine about nothing and everything the way it was. I'm one of those melodramatic fools, erotic to the bone, no doubt. Sometimes I give myself the creeps. Sometimes my mind plays tricks on me. Always adding up the thing I'm crying out. Am I just paranoid? Am I just stoned?